Hey everyone, welcome to Vic's Yard to Table. Today we're making homemade pizza sauce with my yard fresh ingredients. Stick around. So this pizza sauce recipe was actually inspired by a Food Wishes video. I like to start off with some good quality extra virgin olive oil. Use a generous amount, about 3 tablespoons. So I have the olive oil at a medium-low heat, and I actually add a couple of anchovies. Because the anchovies are loaded with glutamates, it gives the sauce an umami boost. When you dissolve a small amount in the sauce, it makes it taste more savory. It gives it a richer taste and more depth and basically enhances the flavor. It won't make the sauce taste fishy at all, and people can't really identify it, but they just think the sauce tastes better. After the anchovies start sizzling a bit, I throw in 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic. I cook the garlic down for about a minute or so, just being careful not to let it burn. This recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of fresh oregano. I'm growing fresh oregano in my hydroponic garden, so I clipped off a few pieces. I remove the oregano from the stem and then chop it up. I add it to the sauce and then turn the heat down low and let it cook down for a couple more minutes. I like adding a little bit of heat to my pizza sauce, and I've built a hydroponic garden totally devoted to hot peppers, all in a Dutch bucket system. So I'm going to grab a cayenne pepper and put that in the sauce. You could also substitute that with 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. I chop that up and then I throw that in the pot as well. I also add a 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. I know we already put in fresh oregano, but dried oregano has a little bit of a different taste, and I like to do both. And now, of course, the tomatoes. So I was able to get a really good harvest of San Marzano tomatoes this summer, and I was able to can them. So I need 28 ounces for this sauce. If I don't have my canned tomatoes from my garden on hand, I like to get this Cento brand San Marzano tomato, 28-ounce cans, whole peel tomatoes. Try and get San Marzano tomatoes because they're sweeter and they have less water content, so they make better sauces. For whole peel tomatoes, I basically just grab each tomato and squeeze it with my hand. I don't break it down completely. It gives it a more rustic type of texture. I also like to break it down by hand as well because it's more gentle. If you put it in a food processor or a blender, it's a little bit more aggressive. And if you start breaking down seeds, it can add a little bit of a bitter taste. I also have some basil growing in my hydroponic garden in my Dutch bucket system. I used to always grow my basil in my hydroponic Dutch bucket system. But interestingly enough, I was actually having issues with my basil growing so quickly that I couldn't keep up with it. So I started growing my basil in my raised bed gardens, so it was more manageable. I live in San Diego, and I'm having a little trouble growing the basil in my raised bed during the winter time right now, but it seems to be doing well in the hydroponic system, so hopefully it lasts. I'll keep you posted. So for this recipe, I use about 4 to 6 leaves of basil, and then I either give it a rough chop or I tear it by hand and throw it in the sauce pot. I then add some salt, and then I add some pepper to taste. I like to add just a pinch of baking soda as well because tomatoes are naturally acidic. Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, is alkaline, so a tiny amount reacts and releases CO2. It raises the pH slightly, and the acid is neutralized. This makes the sauce taste sweeter without adding sugar, and the bitterness that you can get from tomatoes is reduced. After I get all the ingredients in, I turn the heat up to medium and wait for it to simmer. Once it starts simmering, then I turn it down to low and then I cover it and let it cook down for about 40 minutes. So there are two camps in the way of pizza sauce making. Some say the traditional way is the best, where you don't cook down the tomatoes, and some say cooked is better. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Right now I'm on team cooked tomatoes, but maybe in the future I'll do a side-by-side comparison. And that's it for my pizza sauce. Hopefully this gave you some useful ideas for your next pizza. If it did, hit like and consider subscribing. It really helps out since I'm just starting out on the YouTubes. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.